Shalom and welcome back to our next episode in the series of 1,000 Evidences for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. In this one, number 199, we'll find out for sure if we have a conscious spirit. Some people call it their soul. This belief can help to demonstrate that the true church will teach correct principles, while most other churches seem to remain silent on the subject. The atheists are sure that we don't have a conscious spirit or a soul. The agnostics aren't so sure. Some churches, including the Jehovah's Witnesses, Grace Communion International, the Seventh-day Adventists, and the Worldwide Restored Church of God, believe that at death we cease to exist until the resurrection. They say we do not have a conscious spirit. Some call it soul sleeping. They base their belief on their interpretation of the Bible. They say that the Bible does not teach that we have a conscious spirit. They believe the Bible teaches the contrary. They do believe in devils and that there are demonic spirits, but what the Bible means when it speaks of our own spirit, they interpret it to simply mean our breath. While the Bible does seem to teach that when we die, we cease to exist in any form, such as in the book of Ecclesiastes, it does contain a wealth of testimony that our mind continues to exist in the form of a spirit after we die. Since the Bible is our standard and guide and the common denominator between the LDS Church and other Christian churches, we feel it would be wise to consider exactly what it teaches. For example, in Genesis chapter 25, verse 8, it tells about Abraham giving up the ghost, his spirit, and that he was gathered to his people. Now, this gathering would have had been in the spirit world because he was not gathered to the dead bodies of his people who were buried far away in the land that he had left hundreds of miles away years before. Likewise, Genesis chapter 49, verse 33, tells about Jacob yielding up his ghost or his spirit and was gathered unto his people. That would be the people in the spirit world. He was not gathered to the dead bodies of his people who were buried in the land he had left hundreds of miles away many years before. See also Numbers chapter 20, verses 24 and 26, many other passages, which use similar wording to tell of the death of other men, such as Moses. In Genesis chapter 35, verse 18, as Rachel's soul departed after she had just died, she called out the name of her son. Genesis chapter 41, verse 8 says, Pharaoh's spirit was troubled. His spirit was not his breath. Breath cannot be troubled. After the Assyrians had been killed, their spirits arose, even though they were all dead. That's in 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 35, and in Isaiah chapter 37, verse 36. Job chapter 4, verse 19 says, we, our spirits, dwell in houses of clay, our bodies. Job chapter 7, verse 11, Job's spirit could be in anguish, his soul in bitterness. Job chapter 14, verse 27, man's soul shall mourn within him. Job chapter 20, verse 3, spirits can have understanding. Job chapter 32, verse 8, the inspiration of the Almighty can give spirits understanding. Job chapter 38, verse 7, before mankind was created, before the foundations of the earth were laid, all the sons of God shouted for joy. Psalm 143, verses 4 and 6 say that the psalmist's spirit was overwhelmed. His soul thirsted for the Lord. Isaiah chapter 26 verse 9, Isaiah's soul desires the Lord. With his spirit he would seek the Lord. Zechariah chapter 12 verse 1, our spirits are formed within us. Breath cannot be formed. Matthew chapter 17 verses 1 through 3, Moses and Elias appeared to Peter, James, and John as departed spirits. They weren't resurrected because Jesus Christ was the first to be resurrected. Matthew chapter 26 verse 41, the spirit can be willing even if the flesh is weak. Luke chapter 1 verse 44, John leaped for joy while still in his mother's womb before he took his first breath. John chapter 5 verse 25, the dead shall hear the voice of the Son of God and shall live. In Acts chapter 12 verse 13 through 16, it tells about a time when the disciples thought Peter was dead. It says, but when Peter knocked at the door of the gate, the damsel came to hearken, named Rhoda, and when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the gate for gladness, but ran in. Peter stood before the gate, and they said unto her, thou art mad. But she constantly affirmed that it was even so. And then said they, it is his angel. But Peter continued knocking, and when they opened the door, they saw him, and they were astonished. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11, it says, the spirit of man knows the things of man. In 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verses 6 and 7, it says, when we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Lord. But when we are absent from the body, we are present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2 through 4, Paul said, whether in the body or out of the body, he did not know, but he was caught up into the third heaven. Philippians chapter 1 verses 21 through 24, it says Paul lives in the flesh, but desires to depart to be with Christ. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 23, it says that our spirits can be blameless unto the coming of the Lord. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 23 says that we can come to the spirits of just men made perfect. 1 Peter chapter 3 verses 18 through 20. Jesus preached to the spirits in prison who had been disobedient in the days of Noah. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 6 says the gospel was preached unto the dead so that they might be judged as if they were living in the flesh. In 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 14, Peter looked forward to being able to put off his tabernacle or his body. 1 John chapter 4 verses 2 and 3, spirits can confess that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. Revelation chapter 6 verses 9 through 10 says that John saw the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God. Revelation chapter 22 verses 3 through 9 tells about John seeing an angel that had been one of his fellow servants. We could quote many more, but suffice it to say for now that the LDS Church teaches the correct doctrinal concept of the existence of conscious spirits as it is taught in the Bible. The gospel of Jesus Christ is true and provides the way of happiness in this life and salvation in the life to come. Don't miss any of our interesting episodes to come. And remember, call, don't fall. Call on the God of the spirits of all mankind. Don't fall for the divergent paths that lead to unhappiness and misery.